Here's a quick recap from today's episode. We saw that WikiCat, after it had its initial breakout, should have had some issues around this flat blue line, okay? And we had some issues. We had spiked above, but then price tried to get slammed down back to the bottom of that blue line, and that blue line was an upper level flat. But now it looks like we're broke not just above the blue line, but above in the next area, which is here. Now, I explained this in our previous chart, and I drew that white arrow, but that price is actually doing exactly what we expected it to do when it crosses into that territory. And that is to build along this specific angle. We can see that the candles are only pulling back to this angle. So this angle is correct. This angle is a phantom angle based on the key angle much below, shown in the bottom red. So that's our key angle, and therefore our phantom angle is going to be along this track, and that's what price is doing. So when we built along here, I wouldn't be surprised if WikiCat shot up and we started shooting up today based on that information. I expect WikiCat to potentially do even higher, not just because it's in alignment with the whole story, but because that's the last health. So WikiCat healthy and bullish. Okay, we saw in another chart that we can see that the next area of resistance for Wiki chart may be at 7029 based on the old high level core in that area. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to that area and use that area as our next potential area where we would look for a pullback. If price breaks above that 29 area and pulls back nicely, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes even higher. And we'll be hitting new territories for WikiCat based on that information. Our next crypto we looked at was XOR, and we saw that XOR has... Lisa, you mute yourself? Mute button isn't working. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. I was trying to mute her, but it wasn't working. Melody, edit this part out. Thank you. For XOR, what we are expecting is we saw a large amount of volume come in at the very bottom. Isn't that interesting? Right after the parabolics are broken. What I believe is happening is there's accumulation that is happening in this crypto. And the sword cut was drawn exactly at 0.004, and what we have is rounding on top of that sword cut. Sword cuts are some of the best prices we can get after a breakout, if we get them. And this is a breakout to the parabolic, to the downside. I discussed that when we break to the downside, we often go up very high without even needing to come back to the sword cut. So the fact that we pulled back to the sword cut is a very good sign for XOR. The prices are 0.004. You're going to like what I have to say next. Calculating the descent, we can see where the next trade is going to be. It's going to be after the red line. But there's basically a trade from here to there. We are in that delay territory a little bit, where we're between a rock and a hard place. But it's not a full-on delay where you have two major resistances and prices just floating in the middle. But that's going to be the next trade. The trade is up to the red line, but if we break above there, it's a big deal. And you know what I think is going to happen? I think you're going to get it. I really think you're going to get it because we're going right to the sword cut area. We have a lot of intel that's coming to me, and we need to sort through it and examine it a little bit more. But it looks like XOR is a part of a much bigger story, more beyond than just the Polkadot network and tied to its current coin. But there's more to the story about XOR, and I wouldn't be surprised. Now, you remember, XOR was trading at $952, and now it's trading at 0.004. So with the same thing that happened to Luna Classic is basically happened to this crypto, but it looks like it's being targeted now. In this season and in these prices. The accumulation started in October, and look what's been happening in October. We've been now consolidating, going to the side, but exactly, we're actually not really consolidating. We're actually building at a specific angle, which means that the health will appear on top of that angle, and look for this crypto to do really good. Now, how high can we go? Connecting the two round actions that we do have together gave us a specific angle. And that means that we will see two sets of trades. One trade that's potentially beyond this red line up to this red line around 34-cent area if it happened this week. If it happens later on, it could be smaller, but that's just what's potentially on the table in here. And I know that there may be a little stops on the way, but that's just the recovery of the trade. That's just the natural angle. If we get above there, then the new area of health has entered and we can go probably much higher. But just the recovery alone, This move from 0.06 to 34 cents, look at the percentage that's on here. The percentage that's on there just from that recovery is 5,121%. That is this insane. That's just the recovery. That's what's available on the table. That's not even like a breakout above there. That's amazing. I'm like, what the heck? Could you imagine a crypto that does 5,000%? That's very possible that this will be that after the red line. And you got time. And we're at some of the best prices. So a crypto that was once traded at 915 just to get to 34 cents, you may say, oh, it's nothing. But it's 5,000%. So I'm excited about that crypto. I'm like, what the heck? Who recommended this one? And thank you for the people who did recommend it. You know who you are. And I'll probably give you credit when I do talk about it. The intel part of it. Aitao has a sword cut that's pretty hot at many zeros and a 60. It's there on the map. Drawing the cores exactly as we should, we can see that there's also a thundercut area in that area. And I did draw it in yellow. We can also see a flat in this area with a resistance around here. And therefore the breakout would be here and sword cut would be in that area. When we drew the sword cut, it's in orange. We can see that this price pulled right back to the sword cut and went and shot up. And that's how many cryptos that are in sword cut position will look like. That's textbook. That's how it's supposed to look like. Then the natural resistance is this upper red line for this one, based on the phantom angle, and the phantom's based on the key angle. So we can see that price may move up to those areas. In addition to that, we can see that we're pulling back to the step up. So Aitao would be attractive at these current prices. And we see from this current move, at these current prices of around 16, 16, 16, we would look to get at least 153% on this crypto. And that one's in position today. So that may move this week. That may move really high real quick. And that could be just a quick way to get that income based on that. So that's very attractive. It's very possible it'll move. It's got a nice safety net around the yellow line as a backup. I like that. Here is Solo just recently had a breakout on the weekly chart with lots of verifications, drawing the core lines on the weekly chart. This one may take longer, but it was a breakout and we're pulling back currently to that line. So this is some good prices after the breakout. There is some smaller resistance on the daily chart around 16 cents. Current prices are around 12 cents. We also can see that the next, using the descent as a key angle, we are able to find that 22 cents area should be our resistance, but this number does go down over time on the weekly chart. But if we crack 22 cents, we can be going much higher. And I think we eventually probably will crack it, but it still needs to be broken up into those trades. So where there's a trade right now, basically until then, with the little problems at the daily chart level, but that's 12 cents to 22 cents. You're looking approximately less than a double, but still good. So if I had Solo, I would keep it and watch what happens. I did draw a sword cut pre. We don't need to draw it just yet because it hasn't broken above significantly, but that's where it would really be. RAD we looked at. RAD was very interesting. RAD has some strong potential. We had already hit Hidden Battler number 1, and Hidden Battler number 2 has yet to be hit. It's a flat at $2.78. Really easy to draw. And the yellow parabolic is also around here. So what we need right now for RAD is to have a breakout above the parabolic. It would look like this in white. And then we can trade up to the red, which is the phantom angle based on the descent, which has 2 points of verification. This is correct. This is a correct angle. If you get above phantom angle, you're looking to go much higher. But as it is, there's a trade of 41% available on the table for this crypto. RAD has a target on the low side of $3.56 once we break the red line. So somebody would take the trade at around $2.59 when we're above there and take the trade up to $3.59, or the average. The high side is $4.77, so the average is going to be what? $4.10, $4.20, something like that. And that's going to be attractive as well. Okay, there's a higher target around $8.60. So those two targets are viable and they're strong, and we were able to find those targets using our targeting system. Rivian, the stock, Rivian, it's an automobile type of stock, is looking really good. with a recent breakout and price near the sword cut. We do have a foundational area that's going to prevent the crypto from running, and it could also give us our confirmation of our entry. So if we're really waiting for an entry, you're either going to get in that sword cut, which is these prices closest possible, or above that white line. Now those prices are $15.40 or above $20.91. I wouldn't mind taking the trade above $20.91 if I'm using stocks, and this stock has potential. It's based on its descent and phantom angle. We have $32.94 as the first main target. So I wouldn't be surprised if this stock does pretty good and hit $32, which means you would be looking to potentially double your money. If you're buying at 15 at sword cut prices, entering there, you're looking to double at 30. If you're buying at 20, you're not doubling, but you're still doing pretty darn good. Okay. Three, it's called Play Bull. Playa 3 UL is the number. 3 UL is the little ticker symbol. We calculated using Tiger, and we were able to find out that price is actually doing a few things. It's actually building right on top of one of those angles, and this is very bullish. This is on the daily chart. But we did use the calculation based on the weekly, and we were able to find that there should have been supports along here, and we found the supports very accurate. There was price building in this area right underneath that one of these resistances, and the other one was here. So the breakout has happened, and we have some nice backup nets right here and here around 0.0053 area. So we have some nice safety nets if we need to fall back down. But as it is, the whole area is in a bullish territory. So I wouldn't be surprised if this crypto goes really high really soon. I don't have an upper targets for you. We can see a few things that were happening based on some of these core areas. We can see that there's a recent pullback in the past few days, and this is on a 6-hour chart. Actually, the last day. And then we also saw a smaller chart on the 2-hour chart. We can see that price broke above this area and came back to the sword cut. We were just drawing that quick, and that's how that would look like. So it's not surprised that on the 2-hour chart, we started going up. So we have 3 points of health on the larger time frame, on the 6-hour time frame, and on the 2-hour time frame. Everything's just in alignment. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes very high very soon. If you're looking for another, just draw a flat line from here, this core area, to this core area, and that's going to be flat. Okay, so that means if you're getting past 0097, you're clearing, you're ready to take off for the next area. I would not be surprised when this one does really well. Given a conservative target, we see just taking a basic projection of the energy from here to there, we can see that there's at least 474% on the table for this crypto, 3UL. Okay, amazing. Thank you for everybody who recommended. And then finally, we looked at USDT, and we can see a large pullback towards the underside of the Tiger angle at 0.608 or 6.08%. This is an angle that we were expecting to either find support, and we just blew right past it here. You can see earlier I circled it here. I said there's going to be a support there, or there's going to be some type of breakthrough on that area, and watch what happens. Now what happened was we didn't bounce on that line. We just barely pricked it, and we bounced and went right through the line. Now is the time for the test, the pullback. When we rounded up into this pullback, that means that we're going to make a mad dash, and it's going to happen quick. When this chart goes down, Bitcoin goes up. So now that we're here and we rejected right on the line with verification, I mean, we smashed 3 times this line, squashed this line, smashing it down like it's grilling a smash burger. Man, this thing is going to shoot Bitcoin really high, really quick. And I believe it's going to be this month in December because of this data. St. Lammy, this means price did pull back this week. So many people's cryptos did go back. And you saw the goals that went low. But look at St. Lammy's dream. Remember, I saw myself descending from a hill filled with the green forest. Then the scene changed. I saw myself ascending back up the hill with green forest all around me. I believe this is to show that I should not be worried about any temporary dips/dumps in the market. It will all go back up. People saw a lot of the first of their profits happen this week. they saw prices go up. And then they saw a pullback. So we saw some pullbacks this week, right? It's right where it should be. Everything is matching. I wouldn't be afraid. I would be getting ready, because very soon, I believe it's this month, it could be tomorrow, or it could be in the next few days, you're going to see some good things in Bitcoin, and you're going to see the whole market just shoot up. And don't be surprised if many cryptos that are already in position are going to go really high, and cryptos that are not in position will get into position. But you'll see some that are going to do really good, and this is that time. Okay, and I also believe it's possibly because we're going to see a big pump on Bitcoin, and we may hit the higher numbers. Like, we have higher targets, but depending on how quickly this moves, we can see some very interesting things. And it may be that pump season where the Bitcoin pumps really high, and right after that pump, there's supposed to be a dump. It's not much time from that day. It's very close. So very close. Look for watch what happens, because there was a big dream that a pastor had a couple years ago, that he once saw Bitcoin have a large up candle. That's going to be probably this week. And he saw that large up candle, he took profit. And the moment he took profit on his cryptos that he was trading, the market shot down. I'm expecting bad things to happen around the 15th to start. Not so much in crypto market, but in some of the banking sectors and in society. It's very possible that we can see prices get stagnant real quick after a Bitcoin pump, because of some of the negative things that may happen in the world, which means that we need to be very quick to take profit if you see Bitcoin hit its levels. If you see Bitcoin hit 64, if you see Bitcoin hit 55, we heard prophecy that when Bitcoin hits 55, that's when Luna Classic should go on the decline. You think this is the decline? I think Luna Classic's still going to do well based on its map. And then it's going to go on decline. Maybe that's when Bitcoin hits 55. And that could be this week. It could be tomorrow. It could be today. Watch carefully what happens. That big pump could be real high. Based on the map, there's potential up to $204,000 on Bitcoin. I don't know if it's going to hit that high. I don't think it's going to hit that high. At the most, it's probably going to hit 80,000, but it's possible. You can see a big, large pump and large candle. Then it's probably going to be time to take some profit. Watch the markets dump, and there's going to be a big dump. And I believe the crash may happen after that, because the pump will happen soon. And then that may trigger that event where you'll see Bitcoin hit a low number. And then when it hits that low number, it's not long after that before a series of events will happen in the world that will cause the next set of events to trigger. And that's when the algorithms, I believe, will fail sometime after that. And then we'll see the crash. If it all happens in slow motion, I would love to take a short on Bitcoin at the top. And we'll see about that. And I'll talk more about it. And ride the sucker all the way down. And then buy up again using low buy orders already placed. And hopefully we'll get a new chance to put buy orders for cryptos after the crash, which means some of us will make money now. Some of us will make money during the crash. Some of us will make money after the crash. And some of us will just hold on for the ride and grab the boat and just watch what happens. Because we can see a lot of this happening in advance. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulled back exactly to the top of one of its previous channels. This is the key angle. This is the phantom angle. The exact price, that price should have hit 40,163 based on the angle itself. And we could see that angle here, okay, more clearly. So I'm not surprised about this pullback. Now watch Bitcoin shoot up very soon. It could be this month in December. It could be soon. It could be tomorrow. But based on USDT.D, this thing may mean that Bitcoin's going to shoot up out of nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere because all of us can see it coming a mile away. But for the world, it's going to look like it just shoots up out of nowhere. And when that happens, watch what happens to your cryptos. They're going to be set free to do some crazy stuff. All right, I love you guys. Watch the full episode today if you want the recaps. There's more to that story in our full episode. It's on our website for Dive Tier members. Sign up for our website. It's on www.patreon.com/jsong_7.